Do you have any tax advice for traders or investors to help them cut down their costs, or besides taking too many trades?
So, all right. So when it comes to trading, there's a few different options, right? So you can, and it depends on if this person they want to be full-time, right? So there's a few different things. I have some clients that will create like a family LLC and then trade out of that family LLC. I have some clients that I will, if they are trading full time, that they will basically have trader status. So instead of your income being taxed as so instead of your income being taxed as capital gains, your income can be taxed as, regular income, and you are able to write off expenses against that income, right? Because that's the difference. When you are just kind of trading, you only have your capital gains and your capital losses, right? It stops there. You don't have anything to really offset it unless you have other capital losses, right? So a capital loss can only offset a capital gain, right? Meaning that if you're selling a stock at a gain, you only can offset it with, something else, whether it's artwork or whether it's a property. Any type of asset that you sold at a loss is the only thing that can help you reduce that capital gain. So definitely trader status, because what you want to, the beauty of it all is always being able to write off things. But if you are a trader, it really depends on where you are. Like I had one client, he got married just so that he wouldn't have to pay capital gains taxes.
Damn. Damn. Damn.
I love you.
Because there's different margins, right? So if you're single and versus if you're married filing joint, the margins are very different, right? So you can, if you're single, it's like up to 40,000, it's like 10%, but if you're married, it's significantly more. And so he was like, listen, I'm gonna just get married. I was like, what? Like that's a part of the solution? Like that's what it's gonna be? But again,
you might as well just
We ain't getting no younger, girl.
Yeah. Gotta get eggs.
Might as well go ahead and do it.
Facts.
Yeah, so it's about like having the conversation, because some people don't even have to worry about capital gains taxes, right? And
That's
keep
true.
in mind, your short term are taxed very differently than your long term. So I know Ian was talking a lot about, just kind of investing and holding on to those stocks, right? So if you're holding on to stocks long term, one, while you're holding on to them, there's no taxes. Once you do sell them, if you own them for longer than a year, the capital gains taxes are significantly lower on long term versus short term. Short term, you're pretty much taxed at the same rate as your income taxes. But long term, that's where you get that advantage. Again, as I always try to tell everyone, the tax code is just a series of incentives. Whatever they want you to do, they're going to give you a tax, kind of like a tax incentive, so that you can do that. They want you to hold on to stocks longer. They're going to say, you know what, we're going to reduce taxes on long-term stocks versus short-term stocks. And so it's just, I had so many people like sell real estate or sell stocks maybe, 2 days before it would have been considered a long-term holding, right? And it's, again, you got to know these things. And if you don't know, that's why you make those mistakes, and then potentially you're overpaying in taxes.
No,
Is there a book that you recommend to help people get comfortable with knowing some of these things? That's one of your favorites, or is there no good book out there?
I don't have a book specifically geared towards capital gains. However, I wrote a book, 300 plus tax deductions, and I touch on capital gains in that book. So everybody go get my book.
Good transition.
Perfect segue into that.
Yeah. Thank you, Ian.
No problem.
Let's take one or two questions, because it was obviously, a jam-packed show, and that was a lot of information in business. Thank you. That's a lot of stuff that I didn't even know. I always learn every time. So it's so much stuff. This tax law is crazy. We got to do like an ongoing series on taxes, because there's like 900 pages in like the tax code. Like there's so much stuff, and it's like nobody really reading all of that stuff.
You have to mitigate risk at every corner, though.
Deductions, like people talk about Trump and all of that, but it's like there's so many different deductions, so many different ways to lower your taxable income, to avoid paying taxes, and it's something that we don't know enough of. So anytime we get to get educated on taxes is a blessing. So thank you for that. I appreciate it.
No problem. And people are asking me what's the name of the book. It's called 300 Plus Tax Deductions. And you can find it on my website, missbusiness101.com. Oh, thank you. Somebody put it there. Thank you.
Entrepreneurs
We give
too.
you a show title. It's Tax Tuesdays.
Listen, even from a business perspective, notice how she's kind and graciously plugs. Some of you will have businesses get on the platform and won't even say, and even a title. It's a good title. It's a good title. So I appreciate you.
Marcus, what's going on, bro? You was the first person in here. As soon as I had joined, you was in here, man.
Marcus is no joke.
What's going on, my guy?
I'm always on it. Miss Business, ladies first. Miss Business, how you doing?
Hello, how are you, Marcus?
I'm doing well. Yo, your class on the tax write-offs for cars was amazing.
Thank you.
Too bad I can't afford a 1,000-pound car.
Half the battle.
Yeah, fellas, I hope y'all had a great Thanksgiving. Ian, stop telling me to stop shorting Tesla. Let me short it and lose money.
I love you too much to let you do that.
I'm playing. So I finally have my friends and family, and I got like a few new IG followers off of Market Mondays and stuff who be hitting me up. And I just want to give them a message real quick. I got a secret. I don't know shit. I am not that person to come to for advice. If y'all want some good vibes, I'm that dude. But I am learning. I am a student. I'm one of Ian's students. I don't know anything, so don't ask me for advice when it comes to that type of stuff. That being said, my friends and family, they know that I have some stocks that I buy and I hold long term, and I also have a few option plays. And then when I introduce them and talk to them about the difference between like the option plays and long-term hold, I always get the same question. And I kind of wanted to ask this question. I'm glad we had this episode today because you guys kind of touched on it, especially Rashad. So basically the question I always get is like, if you only have little capital to invest, like $3,000 to $5,000, why would I buy a couple of stocks like Adobe or NVIDIA that when it moves 10 to 40%, let's say a year, only make a couple of bucks versus investing that money into like a single option or two options, and it has a greater return in a quicker time frame. And then
because they're not good at the craft yet. I don't mean to cut you off, but that's the answer.
Great. Okay. That's not what I said. My mind is like ownership, safety.
I look at it like at the end of the day, people can do whatever they want. Like our job, I think, is to inform people, and then it's up to them to really make a decision. That's why we never really tell anybody what to do, because it's like our job is just to give you information, and then from there, like we've had numerous shows on options. We'll talk about options again. So I'm not mad at anybody for taking that shot, because I understand the logic behind it. It's a home run play, and it's like, yeah, you could turn 5,000 into 50,000. That's possible. You could turn 5,000 into 25,000. That's possible. I'm not mad at the logic. I just want people just to understand all risk involved and understand that the option play has the ability to go to zero, especially short-term options. It's volatile. It's volatile. So, but I mean, I think there's enough education now where people can make a decision. And if
I'm gonna shoot straight.
They want to do it, and that's what they.
I'm gonna just say one thing. Mark, like I'm agreeing with what Shadi said. It's extremely volatile, and to start somebody out with trading options, there's so many intricacies into learning options. So it's tough. And like you said, everybody does want to hit a home run. But if you know baseball, right, the people that hit home runs have a low batting average. You want to have a high batting average when you start. So trying to be a home run hitter out the gate, you're probably going to bat about 200. And I don't know if anybody can afford that over the long term if you're just starting.
My graduates from my school being Forbes, bag drop.
Bag drop.
A mic drop, bag drop.
Bag drop.